This is Smarter San Diego TV.
You said you've been talking to scientists, people who have solutions. What needs to be done? $8+ billion in profits in 3 months, but they won't admit that it's happening. Should women be allowed to become Navy SEALs?
The short answer is no.
You lived there
Oh
for
my
4.5 years and you didn't know?
So the government now, very, very invested in the mortgage industry. What's happening in China that no one knows about, the news isn't covering? Tell us what's going on.
I'm in the naughty corner today.
Like you said, you're not getting rich in the military. You got to come up with a way to build some wealth. Real estate, best way to do that. I mean, can it still be fixed? And how serious is it really? And if so, what do we need to do?
And now, here's your host, Derek Evans.
Welcome to Smarter San Diego TV. This is the place, of course, where you get smarter, and it's all commercial free. My co-host, as usual, the lovely Rebecca Peters. How you doing, Beck?
Good day, sir. Hello, everyone.
Is that a new haircut you're showing off or
It's a
something
new
there?
haircut, yes. You didn't notice last week,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm just going to point
No,
it
I
out
noticed.
today.
I totally noticed.
But you didn't draw any attention to it.
So today we're talking about how there's new laws.
New year, new hair, new laws.
New laws in the state of California. Some of these are pretty interesting. Which ones did you like?
Yes, law enforcement agencies must obtain a search warrant before looking at private emails, text messages, and GPS data stored in smartphones, laptops, and the cloud.
Which is pretty interesting. So if a police officer pulls you over, he can't say, give me your phone or anything like that. Not legally. Now, if you give it to him, then that's one thing. But
That's
they
on
can't
you.
force you by law to give it to them without getting a search warrant through a judge. So that is kind of a big deal.
Yep.
I don't know how many times that happens or it's applicable, but pretty interesting stuff. Here's one I thought that was pretty interesting under driving. Electrically motorized boards can be ridden wherever bicycles can be ridden now, including bicycle lanes, pathways, and roadways. This also includes hoverboards.
Yes.
So for your hoverboard, you can ride in the bicycle lane.
Yeah. I bet you can't do skateboards, though, can you?
I don't think so.
No, it's like the same thing, just one goes this way and the other goes that way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird,
know.
but it is what it is. There's some other interesting ones
Yeah,
there too.
and still on the driving topic, we have new alerts. So the Amber Alert has been quite successful in finding kidnapped children. But now the California Highway Patrol is allowed to use new yellow alerts on electronic freeway signs to seek the public's help in finding motorists in hit-and-run accidents. Also, there's a blue alert to find those who have violated police officers or law enforcement in general. There's also silver alerts to find missing persons who are 65 years or older and who may have developmentally disabled or cognitively impaired disorders.
Yeah, I think it's great that they're allowing the Highway Patrol the opportunity to use the signs to tell people what's going on. It's always nice to know. I mean, when I see those signs like, hey, child abducted, this is the license plate, it's a blue Toyota Prius. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's 9,000
Checking
blue
your
Toyota
rear
Priuses.
view.
I'm looking around trying to find it.
Yeah.
Guns. Under guns, there's a
Guns.
couple of interesting ones I wanted to mention. So police officers or family members can actually get a restraining order that bars a person who's deemed dangerous from possessing a gun for 21 days. So if one of your family members, even if they're dangerous to themselves, potentially suicidal, or if you think that they're dangerous to someone else, you can get a restraining order and keep them from having access to guns for 3 weeks. Now, whether they'll abide by that law or not, we don't know.
Right.
But you can do it. Also, there's a ban now on concealed weapons on college campuses, period, regardless of whether it's legal to carry it elsewhere. If you have a concealed carry permit, you can't take it on college campuses any longer.
So just have to rely on our police officers and
To get there in time.
students.
Yeah.
Okay, well then.
Which other ones did you like?
The other one that I liked was the vaccination law, which
Oh,
is
people are going to
obviously
hate this.
going to be very controversial. The vaccination law eliminates the option for parents to waive immunization rules for their children based on personal beliefs.
What this is saying is that if you're one of the parents who's like, no, I don't want to vaccinate my children, I'm against vaccinations, it's my personal belief system, I do not want to put those chemicals in my children, the state is now saying you can no longer say no. If your kids are going to go to a public school that is funded by the state, you now have to get them immunized.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to freak out about that.
Yes.
So we'll see
'Cause
what
I know
happens
people who don't
when
vaccinate.
when the extension expires and kind of falls off the cliff, and then people have to do it. We'll see what really happens at that point in time. The minimum wage increased.
Yes.
No one even really said anything about that. I didn't even hear about this, but it went from $9 to $10 an hour. I think that's a pretty fair
Yeah.
deal. $10 an hour.
Yeah, it's not
Come
bad.
on, for minimum wage.
Pretty
that's-
decent.
Yeah.
I mean, San Diego's an expensive place to live, so I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
Also, this one could be controversial as well amongst people who are religious, but doctors are now allowed to prescribe lethal doses of drugs to patients who are terminally ill. So not to anyone, not just because someone's suicidal and they're saying, okay, not the Kevorkian stuff.
So basically, human euthanasia.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're terminally ill, I mean, think about it, how much pain people are in.
Yes, because we talk about our animals like that. Oh, we don't want our animals to suffer. We give them euthanasia and, quote unquote, put them out of their misery. Now we're doing it to ourselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know anyone who's in that situation, but I imagine for some people it's probably going to be at least a decent thing. Here's something that's interesting along the lines of schools, and we'll end on this one because we got Steve Bick coming up.
Okay.
So can't wait to talk to Steve. But schools now must provide places for students
Yes.
to breastfeed or pump breast milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
So there's a breastfeeding room if you need to. So if you're a teenage mother and you want to breastfeed or pump breast milk because
Yeah.
you don't bring your baby to school, then you've got a room now for that.
I think
So
that's totally fair.
it is fair.
Yeah.
It is fair. It's totally fair. It was just interesting that needed to be made into a law. It's pretty interesting. All right. I think it's time to start the show. What do you think? There are more new laws, by the way. So if you go to our Facebook page, you can find it there. If you go to our website, you can find the link there. There are more. We couldn't cover them all, but we got Steve Bick coming up. It's time to make you smarter. I got to get my jacket on. It's time to start the show.